When we put a watch on the wrist, the first question is never the spec sheet. It is how it feels, how it sits, and whether it disappears when it should. The Mibro Titanium GS Explorer S surprised us in that way. It carries the presence of a modern tool watch, yet it stays light and controlled thanks to its titanium build. From the titanium case to the way the display behaves outdoors, everything here feels intentional. So let's talk about how this watch actually lives on the wrist. On the wrist, the case size reads 47.8mm, and yes, that places it firmly in tool watch territory. But size alone never tells the full story. The 13.1mm thickness keeps the profile controlled, and the lug geometry pulls the case down so it sits close to the wrist. That matters more than diameter, especially during long wear. The balance feels intentional. Titanium plays a quiet but critical role. This is aerospace-grade titanium, and with the silicone strap, the watch comes in around 76 grams. That weight, or more accurately the lack of it, changes how the watch disappears during the day. You notice it when you put it on, and then you stop noticing it, which is exactly what you want from something built for movement. The surface finish stays muted. It avoids polished drama and leans into a matte, utilitarian look. It feels closer to expedition equipment than lifestyle accessory, which sets the tone early. Well, its case construction pairs titanium with Corning Gorilla Glass, and while sapphire often gets the romance, Gorilla Glass brings impact resistance that works well in real conditions. Add to that compliance with 17 MIL-STD-81 OH tests, and the watch becomes something you do not hesitate to wear. Extreme heat, cold, vibration, dust, or humidity are treated as normal operating conditions, not edge cases. Now let's talk about the display, because this is where a smartwatch either feels like a watch or feels like a phone strapped to your wrist. The GS Explorer S uses a 1.32-inch AMOLED panel with a 466 by 466 resolution and 353 ppi. What matters more is the 1500 nits peak brightness. Outdoors, under direct sun, the display stays readable without effort. The always-on display keeps presence. That subtle glow, even when idle, gives the watch a sense of continuity. It behaves more like a dial than a screen waiting to wake up. Motion stays smooth, thanks to a 60 frames per second refresh rate, and transitions never feel abrupt or distracting. Control is handled through a 3-button layout, and this is one of those decisions that reveals priorities. Touch works fine, but buttons are what you trust when conditions change. Wet hands, gloves, sweat, cold fingers, the buttons respond consistently. Each press has defined travel, and muscle memory builds quickly. Navigation is where this watch starts to show depth. The GS Explorer S uses dual-frequency GNSS with L1 and L5, alongside GPS, Beidou, GLONASS, Galileo, and QZSS. In use, that translates to faster satellite lock and cleaner route data. Tracks look tight, turns appear where they should, elevation changes feel believable. Offline maps push this further. You can download global vector maps and store a 50 by 50 kilometer area at a time directly on the watch through the Mibro Fit app. Supporting navigation is a full outdoor toolkit. You get an altimeter, a barometer, a compass, real-time weather alerts, lunar phase data, and blood oxygen monitoring, so all the key information stays in one place. Because the barometer tracks pressure changes, the watch can warn you early about incoming weather shifts, and that can genuinely change how you plan your route in open or exposed areas. When light drops, Auto Night Mode steps in and adjusts the display gently, so you keep visibility while your night vision stays comfortable and clear. Now this watch carries a 10 ATM rating, which supports free diving up to 30 meters. What elevates this is that Bluetooth calling remains functional under water pressure. That is not common. Only a small group of brands like Huawei, Garmin, and Apple have achieved this combination. In free diving mode, The watch keeps an eye on everything that actually matters underwater. You can see your current depth in real time, and at the same time, it records the maximum depth you reach during the dive. It also tracks dive time and dive count, so you always know how long you have been down and how many dives you have already done. On top of that, ascent and descent speeds are monitored continuously, which helps you stay aware of how fast you are moving through the water and adjust your pace when needed. Alerts for depth and time can be customized, and warnings come through both vibration and visual cues. This combination shows that diving was not added as a checkbox feature. It was designed into the system. Endurance supports all of this without compromise. The watch delivers up to 20 days in daily use, 50 days in basic mode, and 25 hours in GPS mode, which is a noticeable improvement over earlier models. With always-on display active, battery life settles around 6 days, which feels balanced for this screen brightness and refresh rate. Charging uses a magnetic connector and stays predictable. More importantly, battery planning never dominates usage. You wear the watch, you use the features, and you trust it to last. Now about its OS. It runs on Mibro Galaxy OS 2.0, focusing on clarity rather than flare. You get 50+ information cards, which allows you to build a layout around how you actually use the watch. Sports data, navigation tools, health metrics, and daily utilities stay organized without clutter. Data sharing works smoothly with Strava, Apple Health, and Google Fit, and the Mibro Fit app presents workouts and routes cleanly. Maps are readable. Sleep data is easy to interpret. Health tracking runs quietly in the background. Continuous heart rate monitoring stays stable during activity. Automatic blood oxygen detection adds a safety layer at altitude. Sleep tracking breaks down stages clearly, and breathing tools remain available without demanding attention. It all supports the experience rather than competing with it. Alright, if we take it as a whole, this Mibro GS Explorer S feels disciplined. Every feature points toward function, legibility, and reliability. Nothing feels added for trend value, and what we like most is it behaves like a modern interpretation of a classic tool watch, translated into a digital format without losing purpose. Now, if your idea of a good watch revolves around clarity, balance, and trust over time, this one fits naturally into that mindset. Details, links, and current pricing are available in the description. So, that's all. Share your thoughts in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you found it helpful, give it a like and subscribe for more videos.